Hello everybody, my name is Ada and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the book Too Good to Be True, and well, this book is it is something. So this book's author is Prajakta Koli, and if any of you don't know Prajakta Koli is a YouTuber, an actress, and maybe a singer. Let's first understand what this book is really about. This book is about a law student, Avani, and a somehow billionaire CEO, Aman, who, by the way, just got his seat because of nepotism. Like, his entire family owns this Raina Textiles, who just make money, and they are apparently billionaires and millionaires and whatever. Now, Avani is a law student. She is 22 or 23, and Aman is 30. And by the way, this age gap is rare. Rare. This is like almost not mentioned in the book at all, which is kind of concerning because we already have Chetan Bhagat and Colin Hoover writing about this. I don't think so. We need another. Aman is shown as a guy with a very dull personality, and he just has nothing. It's like he's just a golden retriever person who needs to be there for the female lead, who is, by the way, shown as described as a very headstrong person, but does nothing but whine most of the times. And honestly, it all seems like a fanfic. It also seems like a YN and CEO fanfic because Avani whines, Aman fixes. That's the entire story that goes on. The story also, Aman shows that he cares about the environment when they have their first date, or I don't know, meeting perhaps. I don't know what to even call that, but Aman was walking Avani home and they started talking about the climate change and the environment, and Aman showed his concern towards carbon emissions. He flies a helicopter and played everywhere. I don't know where we are getting with that, and I don't know why we are shown that this multi-billionaire, millionaire, blah blah blah, is the man of her dreams, and we are constantly told that she's not in it for looks, but the guy does not have a personality. So there's a big question mark on that. He's often described as aftershave. Every time Avani looks at this guy, or if this guy's walking in or whatever, it is aftershave.
Oh my god!
Everything is just aftershave. I don't understand this honestly, but I don't really think aftershave is that much of a thing. But anyways, so that's our description of Aman Raina. And Avani is just a girl, and the author is trying to convince us that she's the it girl, and like she has all the characteristics a guy may want, need, whatever. The story, they don't have a heart-to-heart conversation at all, almost, and for some reason they're always horny all the times. Also, the unnecessary the unnecessary jokes, which I don't get why it was necessary to even put it in, because it even 13-year-olds don't laugh at that. It's baffling. It's just not, it does not make sense. So, and for some reason Avani just talks to this her friend group for every other barrier she has in her relationship. It's like a group assignment where she does not make a decision by herself, but her friends make it for her and she just executes it. Like there's a project manager and they just, all of them else just execute it. You know what I mean? It's very unrealistic, or maybe it's just bad. Aman just flies everywhere, and they fly to Aman's parents in Missouri, I think. But yeah, they fly to there, and we meet Aman's brother, who is a little cold and practical and shown as a super villain. So now Aman's brother is shown as a supervillain who confronts Avni and says that, to leave his brother because it does not look right. And honestly, it made sense because
Uh-oh, Richard!
Aman did not know Avani's parents' names, and I think they were dating for 6 or 7 months by that time, or 8 months, or maybe it was a year. I don't think so it was a year, but yeah, it was like 6 to 8 months, or maybe more than that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but still, like, these are kind of like basic information. Aman does not know that, and his brother, who's by the way named Gagan, is like, you're being immature, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. They are being immature because what is even going on? Avani often describes this relationship as too good to be true. It is too good to be true because you guys are hardly talking. It's too good to be true because you're not talking at all. Just moves on to show Gagan as a super villain, but Gagan was actually wrong. You guys don't have a heart-to-heart conversation. You hardly know anything about each other. We hardly know anything about both of the characters. So it's just a vague fanfic, and it's just not written properly, I feel like, and there needs to be a lot of work in this. And not gonna lie, along with YN and CEO, it's kind of like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. Except Aman is Hrithik Roshan coming from the helicopter, if that makes sense. So, except like Aman's parents are not like, I know that guy's name. And Amitabh Bachchan, yes. So these two, right? So they are like, Amitabh Bachchan is like Sanskar, ye, wo, whatever. Except Gagan is that. And Aman's parents in the book are like good. And Gagan is the villain. This is so vague. It's just, I'm telling you, it's like a knockoff version of Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, but thoda idhar udhar, they just like steered it and shit like that. It does not make sense at all. And aftershave books. Wink wink, nudge nudge. It is a comment section actually. A comment section in that book. I meant lines, but basically it goes like, the professor stopped professoring. Wink wink, nudge nudge. So it's concerning to have this, and honestly, of course, debut novel, you don't expect it to be perfect, but this debut novel was published by HarperCollins and is being adapted by Netflix India. So I think it is a pretty big of a deal because it's not a debut novel at this point, it's just nepotism. And the fact that it's not a groundbreaking masterpiece, it's hardly anything. Like, I'm telling you, a Wattpad author has better stories, writing skills, and everything. And these authors cannot get published by a big publishing house like HarperCollins. Here we are. Why are they not? Because they do not have enough contacts. And some people even call Too Good to Be True like a knockoff version of Mismatched, which is, I think, true. I think there needs to be a lot of work over here. Well, it's not just me. There are a lot of reviews about this, which I will leave over here. Also, I kind of forgot to add to the controversy. So, about the ghostwriter controversy. The thing is, a lot of people have suspected that this is the work that Prajakta Koli used a ghostwriter, which does not really seem false. But honestly, I kind of feel like a ghostwriter would be much better at this, and I think it would be a better novel. Also, the acknowledgements page. You know what? I'm just gonna put that over there. Yeah, so she didn't write the acknowledgement by herself. She used ChatGPT's help. Wow. I don't really think so. I need to explain after that because I feel like this is a waste of paper and this is a waste of money. More precisely, when I read that it was like they took AI's help and my general help of AI, and I just feel like, man, I would be okay if it was a bad novel, but now that like I'm kind of not okay if it's a bad novel, but like it's like I'm okay if it's a bad novel, but the fact that it's being adapted and It was published by HarperCollins and they sold over 150,000 copies. What? And someone's fantasy that they want to come true and they don't want a lovely connection. Yes, I think that's just it. Yeah. You don't know nothing about the characters. You don't know nothing about like the female lead's background. You know nothing about Aman. You know nothing about anything. It's just like a top layer of a cake. It's just cream. It's just a creamy layer. I feel like we have to do better for our aspiring offers because this is just not done. I cannot, and I would actually recommend you guys not to spend your money. And like me, or maybe not like me because I traumatized myself with that book, but if you are curious to read that book, maybe you just can go online and like search the free PDF version and get it, because honestly I feel like it's not worth the money, believe me, please. And that's it from my side. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.